When you open Krita you will get this screen. You can click here to create a new document, then you can give the width and height. Here you can select if you need a landscape or portrait document. Then press OK. This is how Krita look like. We can learn about tools as we paint. First make sure this brush is selected. You can select it here. You can also select it from this menu. Let's rename this layer by double-clicking on it. Double-click on the layer and let's name it as Tree. You can also change the color of the layer. Right-click on here and select any color you want. I'm using brown color because first we are going to draw the tree trunk. Click and drag to draw. Let's draw a shape like this. This is for tree trunk. The only thing we need to know is the bottom part is wider than the top part of the tree. In reality at least 90% of the time that's true. So let's draw it like this. We can draw the branches like this, then we can add small branches here and there. Draw the other parts of the tree using same method. You can change the brush size using bracket keys. Also if you hold the shift, then click, and move the mouse up and down, you can change the size of the brush. Click here to create a new layer, double-click on the layer. Let's rename it as back leaves. Let's pick a color from here. I'm going to pick dark green color. Oh, I want to draw behind the tree trunk. So go to here and click on this layer you just created. Drag it to below the tree layer, like this. Now we can draw behind the tree. First draw these kind of small shapes, draw then end of the branches like this. Then we can draw little bit bigger shapes like this. Do the same thing for other parts. Let's add a gradient to the background. Let's make it look like the sky. Click here. Now click on the edit button. Double click on here and select a blue color. Click on here too, and select a light blue color. Click here and drag the mouse to create the gradient. After that, let's add a gradient so we can get more color variation. First click on this layer while holding the control, it will select the only parts that we painted the leaves. Then go here and click here. Click on edit button to edit the gradient, double click on here. Now you can select a color. I'm going to pick dark green color, press OK. Let's pick a color for this too. A bit lighter color for this. Now click here on gradient tool. Click here and drag the mouse to create the gradient. Now, create a new layer by clicking here, rename it by double-clicking on the layer. I'm going to name it as front leaves. Select lighter green color. Now draw small shapes like this, like we did for back leaves of the tree. You can draw them like this. Spread around a half of a circle, like this. Then draw and fill other part like this. Now pick a bit darker green and change the opacity of the brush. You can change the opacity by changing this. Now paint over the leaves we just painted. Now click on the tree layer. First click on the layer while holding Ctrl key, press Ctrl H to hide the selection, so we don't see the selection while painting. Pick a brownish color. Change the opacity. Now paint like this. We paint more left side of the tree, because that's where the light is coming from, so. Create a new layer for us to draw the ground for the tree. I'm using this color for the ground. You can paint like this. Then select a different green color and paint like this. We can add small parts like this to make it looks nice. So now it looks like light coming from the left side and other side is dark. Create a new layer. We are going to paint a small bush behind the ground. Let's pick a bit dark green. You can paint like this, like we already did for tree leaves. Now pick a lighter green. Instead of creating a new layer, we can paint the same layer like this. After that, you know what, let's add some flowers too. Let's add them like this. Select the bottom layer. Now create a new layer. Select white color. We are going to draw clouds. When you paint bigger clouds on top area, then smaller clouds on bottom area. If you draw like that, it will give a bit 3D look. You can use a gray bluish color and paint over the clouds. Don't paint the top area of the clouds, so it will look like sunlight on the cloud. Congratulations! I think you have successfully finished your first painting. Also remember, we only use one brush for whole painting, so if we use other brushes, like tree leaves brush, texture brushes, we will get much nicer result. But let's say if you want to make this painting look like an autumn tree, like a maple tree. Select the top layer, now press Ctrl U. You can change the color by changing this slider. Let's change the value until we get orangish color like this. We can give more saturation by changing the second slider. Let's do the same for the back leaves layer. Press Ctrl U and change the colors. Select the font leaves layer and right-click on it. Click here to duplicate the layer. Press T and move the layer a little bit. Also reduce the opacity down a bit. Now press Ctrl U and change the color like this. Now select the tree layer, click on this icon. Now you can't paint outside of the tree trunk. Leave small spaces like this. For the first time we are going to use a different brush. Select this brush, select a bit darker color. You can also change the opacity of the brush. Now paint over the right side of the tree, like a shadow side of a tree. Select the ground layer and press Ctrl U and change the color like we did before. Do the same for the bush layer behind the tree. Now right-click on the tree layer and right-click on it, duplicate it. Press Ctrl U and change the color to black using the slider. Press T to activate Transform tool. Now press Ctrl T, move the cursor to here and drag it like this. Change the opacity of the shadow. Congratulations, you have successfully painted an autumn tree. Don't forget to subscribe. Also watch these videos on our channel. Thank you for watching.